everybody. I hope you're doing well. So, my friend Cher and I, who I met from my other channel, Insightful Carrie, we decided we wanted to start a true crime podcast and kind of shed light on some cases that needed attention brought to them, go into them detailed, and bounce opinions off of each other. Our own little bubble of crime. Anyway, um, there's a case that I've been extremely obsessed with, and it happened in my state. These parents, this family really wants justice. They really need justice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let Cher tell you all about it, and we'll talk about when we'll be filming our first episode. Cher?
Okay, so feel free to jump in and correct me because you know more. But so this case is about a guy who supposedly he committed suicide, right? But the evidence doesn't quite add up to be a suicide. So he was at work and came home due to an emergency. His girlfriend at the time was like on drugs and stuff like that, and so he was coming home basically to kick her out of his apartment and end the relationship and stuff, but he had planned to go back to work. So that right there would tell me too, since he was planning on going back to work, that wouldn't really, I don't think he really fit the bill for someone who would commit suicide, do you? And obviously the family doesn't think so also either. So he was supposed to go back to work, but during this time at home, what is it, like the day after he came home, he then was
Well, it was
found
like 3
by,
a.m. when he called somebody to come pick him up, I believe. It was like really, really late.
right,
So, but it was later that day. He wasn't even home a whole day.
right, yeah, so he wasn't even home a whole day, and all of a sudden he's found dead in his bathtub of his apartment, and from a gunshot wound though, which kind of, it didn't add up. And his girlfriend, he was going home to kick out, was in the house at the time, but I believe she was too drugged up on Xanax and
Yeah,
couldn't hear
yeah.
gunshots. Yes. And the person that did find him was this girlfriend's friend, but somebody she used to have a past with, or ex-boyfriend or something, right? They had a connection anyways,
She
right?
cheated on her ex-boyfriend or with him.
Yeah. So these are the people that were at the house and that found Christian on the day of his suicide,
Oh,
supposedly.
and when he was out, he went to Christian's bank and tried to withdraw all of his money.
That's right,
So
right.
Christian
So there's a
get sued.
bunch of stuff. Right. There's a lot that doesn't add up. So while this was ruled a suicide, investigators only spent 45 minutes on this case before it was ruled a suicide. The family is not happy with that. The family doesn't want people to stop talking about this case, and they want more answers because it just doesn't add up. Christian did not fit from everything that I've researched so far since you've brought this case to my attention. He didn't really fit the bill of someone that was that depressed and going to commit suicide or anything like that. I mean, he told work he was going to be back after that
He
weekend
was
or something like
working
that.
to be a captain of the
Yeah.
boat. He was trying to, improve
And he
himself.
was like the youngest. He worked really hard for his position where he was like the youngest person to be a captain and be a boss on this tugboat, I believe, too, I was reading. He had everything going for him and everything that he wanted and worked really hard for. So it really just it didn't fit.
His name
And the
was Christian Andrianaco, from Meridian, Mississippi. His family is begging for justice. There's a culpable podcast that is out also on YouTube if any of you guys want to look into it before our episode. but we just want to dig deep into it. It's my home state. It's a case that I cannot get off my heart. This boy and this family, because the forensics don't add up, and it's a small town. It's a small town, good old boy system, as we call it. And it
A
needs
young,
white
pretty, blonde country girl. Young, pretty, blonde country girl.
the prettiest girls have the ugliest hearts.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And I believe too, this girl hasn't she also like people have even said to her like, "Are you gonna kill me like you did that boy?" And she kind of just like
yeah,
she doesn't agree to
stole
disagree
4
with it.
people's passports and made it where they were
Yes,
stuck here, and that's since then. In
yeah,
Florida, she was roommating with some people, and she stole their passports, so they're like stuck here.
yeah. She took all their immigration papers, and even investigators even know this. And she took, I mean, even some of her friends. If you guys look into this as you watch our podcast, or so you can get to know the story as Carrie and I dig into this more. The things that you find out about this girl are just, I mean, it's crazy. Everywhere that this Whitley girl goes, she leaves a path of destruction.
Sociopath.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, but so our first episode is going to air on Tuesday, September the 22nd. We're gonna do a deep dive. Well, we'll probably break it down, but we want to get as much details and dig as deep as we can, and then cover as much information as we can. So we'll see how long it goes, but our first post will be this Tuesday, September the 22nd. Please tune in, guys. Can't
And
wait to see
subscribe.
you.
Subscribe and share it.